Welcome to another Tuesday Qigong. Although the numbers are high, we might be moving platforms. I'm thinking about taking this live stream to YouTube just so that it's more accessible. Not everybody has an Instagram. And I'm getting feedback that more audience would be able to participate and would be able to discuss each episode and talk about some of the moves and talk about how that particular move can be modified for your body type or wherever you may physically be at. All right, with that being said, let's enjoy ourselves. Okay. Start off just letting the hands swing. Now I'm going to challenge you because you have a background in martial arts. I want you to use your hara or your dantian to counter what would make you swing back and forth.
Oh, okay.
So then there's this.
Engage my core.
Yeah. Versus.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is that better?
Yeah. Does it feel different?
Yeah, because I'm holding I'm pulling in here.
Mm-hmm. If you can start to feel that in all the movements that you do, from raising your hands to turning and shifting your weight, then you'll notice that your endurance will go up.
Okay.
Yeah, because David Wei, his master, Master Yuan in China,
Yeah.
he used to say, all chi, meaning that he could wake up in the morning fresh out of the bed and just hit the splits and then go and do a bunch of pull-ups and some push-ups and then be able to bring his leg over his head and laugh it off all before breakfast kind of deal. And they'd ask him, like, Sifu, how are you doing this? And he's like, it's all chi.
So, you see all the people in Oakland around the place and they're swinging their legs above their head and doing all sorts of things that most older people can't do.
Yes, it's miraculous what a constant practice will provide you, because they've been doing those exercises. You know, those senior citizens you see in Chinatown that in their 80s, 90s, doing the splits, running, jumping, lifting up heavy objects, because they do that stuff since they were young. Sometimes even young in the sense of 40.
Okay.
And it's really incredible because by the time they get to 80, they've been doing it for 40 years.
Okay.
Yeah. But all qi, the dantian is like the cauldron of qi. And in Chinese medicine, the lung meridian starts in the middle jiao, meaning it starts in that same space.
Okay.
And so if all your breath is coordinating, right, at Qigong being a coordination of breath and movement, being able to coordinate that after you learn this feeling of that brace, the exercise takes it to another level, because then your breath, you're like in for so many swings, out for so many swings.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it no longer becomes a muscle bracing, because at the beginning it is a muscle bracing.
Right, because I can feel, if I don't concentrate on it, I start swinging.
Yeah. It's so funny, these little simple exercises, you never would know that that old person who's standing on the corner doing this also is happening, where they would be rocking, but they're not. They're in one place, and sometimes they're swinging their arms hard.
Right.
And to swing your arms hard, I mean, it makes you want to rock, but to not rock.
Well, it helps to, like, bend your knees a little bit too.
Exactly. See how all the principles start to stack.
Yeah.
Soft knees, back straight, neck long.
If I could get loose shoulders, that would be excellent.
Yeah, shoulders relax. We can do some, we'll do range of motion. We'll do some root, trunk, branch, stem, leaf for upper body, and I'll explain what that means. So now just let the arms slowly relax. And we're going to go to Jum Jung. That's the standing meditation. See if you can keep your breath in the dantian. In Qigong, we embrace a belly. And bring the hands up to level with the collarbones. And you can relax the elbows. There you go. I've been visualizing a really big sandwich. It just reminds me not to clench too hard. You know, you don't want to bust up the bread and ruin it. I was doing shoulder mobility stuff earlier today.
Oh,
Yeah, for rotator cuff.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's an underloved area on most bodies. And I won't be a victim.
Yeah, computers really mess up your shoulders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fingers are an extension of the shoulders. So imagine what typing does.
Yeah, I'm noticing it. I'm getting arthritis in my shoulders.
Oh yeah, then check your elbow and check the shoulder, because it's all a bunch of pulley systems, right? And the layway is the elbow, and the same with the knees and the toes. So if the legs are acting up, it has something to do with the hips and pelvis. Hands level with the eyes. Good. Yes, this is an exercise of endurance. And it's so funny because when I worked at a gym, like a Western gym, there's a lot of people there who enjoyed lifting weights. I too enjoy lifting weights, but I didn't start lifting weights until I could hold my arms up for long periods of time, right?
Oh,
Because each arm, depending on the size of the person, can weigh anywhere from 15 to 30 pounds each.
okay.
So if you can't hold your arms up for a minute, then I really don't feel that a person should be lifting any additional weight until their body weight becomes not enough. Good. Hands down to the collarbone. Because anything past that can become aesthetic if it's only that type of exercise, right? So only lifting weights without stretching or doing some kind of active something
Right.
to keep the tendons and ligaments short and strong and soft and malleable.
Yeah,
Versus like, oh, I can't wipe my ass, but I got 6 gold medals because of these triceps. It's like, it's no shade. Like, I respect it, but I don't know if I can make that trade-off. Like, I don't need that kind of support.
I noticed in the gym that men were always checking their upper body to see, how strong their muscles were, and women were always working on their lower body because it's harder for women to get that same level of muscle definition. It's not strength, it's just a definition. It's different because women have naturally a higher body fat.
Mm-hmm. Allow the hands down to the dantian. Welcome, Shetzi. Just starting off with our basics, good timing. Allow the hands down, palms out, palms down, arms out. I'm going to mirror you. You're going to flex to your right side. Back to center. Other side. Back to center. And allow the arms to rest. And take a moment to just stand and feel the work. Good. So today we're going to be going over roots, trunk, branch, stem, leaf. Welcome. And so what we're referring to is our waist. This is our root. This space here is where our dantian is. This is where, in the back, they say this is where the fire of life kind of springs from. It's called the Ming Men, and it's like an ethereal, mystic type fire, you know, if you want to get woo-woo. Yes, that's why you're warming the back. You want to warm the kidneys and warm that Ming Men. And the front part of that is the dantian, it's Qi Hai. So, when we move from that space, this is the root of all the things that you do, lower body and upper body. So root, then coming up to the shoulder, this is the trunk. The branch is the elbow. Stem is the wrist. Leaves are the fingers. Root, trunk, branch, stem, leaves.
Is there a reason why you go so high on the stomach? You don't go here, you go there.
Yes, so that's a good observation that I start here at the bottom of the rib cage. This is your waist versus down here, these are your hips. And so then that root, trunk, branch, stem, leaf, we can do it going down. So this is our root, trunk, branch, stem, and leaves.
Yeah, it's two separate.
Yeah, exactly. And as above, so below. So we're looking at our root, and we're going to just stand with our feet shoulders width, and we're just making circles. Also, check in with your feet. Are they pointed forward? Why do we point our toes forward? I went over this a couple sessions ago, but I'll reiterate it because I think it's very important that our calf muscles are just like our bicep and our arm. There's two muscles, an inside and an outside. So when our toes are pointed out, we are excessively using the outside of our calf muscles. When our toes are pointed in, we can excessively use the inside of our calf muscles. But when our feet are pointed forward, we equally distribute the weight between both calf muscles. Go the opposite direction. Just circling the waist. Now we're going to go through a series of basics for each one of these places, the root, trunk, branch, stem, and leaf. This is great for digestion. This helps to open up the diaphragm, and it opens up the rib cage because the ribs are like fingers. They open and close, and there's cartilage in there and muscles in between. There's a lot going on. And so when we can roll on this root on our waist, we then get the juices flowing. Okay, so back to center. So now we're going to arch back and pinch the shoulder blades together and then come forward. and round out the back. Keeping the knees bent. We call this happy dog, sad dog.
Oh, he just shift.
Another name could be bird chest, turtle back. Gives a little spine mobility. One more. Up and back. Neutral. Then feeling that left and right. So this one is very different than when, and I want you guys to just keep going back and forth. I'm going to explain something to you. It's different than when we do this exercise, where I'm moving from the trunk. I'm moving the whole trunk, not from the root. You see how here we're breaking and hinging on the waist in this exercise, whereas in this, we're keeping the back straight and moving from the hips. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Good. Good. And really feel that pull. And when we're here, I want you to just, with the bite of your hand, we call this the tiger. Oh, it's just the dragon bite. I think this is the dragon's mouth. We're going to wipe up and feel that stretch as you bite in here, right underneath the ribs, and then come back, same deal. And up. Also, I want you to consider that there's a single hair that's coming up, and if you change directions, right, if you go up and down, you'll break that hair, and you don't want that. And you can feel that tension, so that means that there's a lifting from the dantian, a lifting. And you just visualize that upward momentum. You missed it, Shati, we were talking about it's all chi, all chi. And there's this Kung Fu master in China who is able to just, be able to move freely whenever he wants. Wake up in the morning, hit the splits, so what? It's morning time. And so his students would ask him how he does it, and he would just reply, it's all chi. All chi, no musculature. He's able to stay in his balance point and feel the swing that we're looking for in this exercise.
Chi is energy, right?
Yeah, chi is energy. Chi is also like a living consciousness that grows and develops with us. It can't be created, it can't be destroyed. It just transfers from one place to the other. And in different ways. It's dense, it's thin, it's transparent, it's invisible, it can be visual. There's visual obstructions, people can start seeing things. Okay, good. So now we've just explored left, right, forward, and back. Now I want you to use those same principles to do the first exercise. So flexing, rolling back. And really feel the use of your dantian in this exercise. It seems simple until you practice it. You're reaching up from your spine.
So when you go forward, face forward,
Yeah.
shoulders forward.
Mm-hmm. Face is always pointed in the same direction. Yeah, because you don't want to be rolling your head around. We need perspective. You need to be able to see what you're doing, see what's in front of you. Other direction.
It's staying neutral.
Yes. I'm countering the movement in my feet.
So if you hit some neutral, you go
Yep, exactly. If the hips aren't pointed forward, then that means that it's too much, because small movements work too. This is correct. Good. And relax. So now, yeah, your core feel different, doesn't it?
Core and
Oh, and arms, yes, that is a workout. The next is our shoulders. So we're going to start basic, and then we're going to slowly progress. So we're going to roll them forward, up, back, and you see the palms, thumb out, down. Hands are neutral. Forward, pinky, up, down. And coordinate your breath. In, hold, out, hold. Good. And in this, if I turn on an angle, let's see it. It's almost as if those two exercises are combining, right? What we did before, the opening and closing. So we're working the whole rib cage, because the shoulder is a collection of muscles. It's a collection of tendons, ligaments, a couple bones, but everything's floating.
I think I'm creepy.
Yeah, welcome to your body. It sounds like we're all made of redwood or something, or eucalyptus. Other direction, so back, we're gonna break it down first. Back and down. Really pack your shoulders, then up, forward, down. And also, I don't know if you see that I'm undulating, meaning I'm bending my knees as I go down, and I'm not straightening my legs as I come up. I'm just kind of staying in a sweet middle ground. Yeah. Keep going. And just let your arms relax by your side. The pinky, yeah, because in this one, I know it feels funny, but realistically, you just kind of want to feel that rotation. You can make it big, but I don't want to go into too much fatigue. I don't want you to go into too much fatigue, because we still got other exercises. Good. So we've rolled our shoulders. Now, alternating forward and back, using that same principle. Yeah, it becomes harder, doesn't it? Yes. Did you know that Bruce Lee was the cha-cha champion? That's a Snapple Cap fact for you. Other direction. This will prepare you for the shimmy. We should just like make this segment and post it all over Piedmont and Montclair. Give them a head start, you know. Give them a little. Yeah, you know, shimmy. That's not meant for everybody. Not everybody got that, Shotzi. Good. And shake it out. Who'd have thought? Now, you're going to make a fist, thumb on top, point it forward. And you're going to come straight out in front, pack the shoulder. Good. And really lock out your elbow so your arm stays straight. And you're just going to make small circles, no more than 4 or 5. Other direction. Good. And Elaine, you might want to take one step to your left. Yeah. Because from here, down, point it out like you're holding a flag. So point, then circle. Really flex that wrist. There you go. Yes, like that. Other direction. And maintain that packed shoulder. Good. Good. Then let the arm come down and back. Few circles. And I'd skipped one, so we'll just go back to it right out in front. Other direction. Good. Feel the work. Take a moment to be still and explore how one arm feels compared to the other. If it feels different, embrace that. Welcome to your body. Side, making a fist, pointing the thumb, coming straight up, packing that shoulder, locking out the elbow, really flex that wrist. Good. Making circles. Other direction. Good. Out. Making circles. Really flex that wrist. Really point with that thumb. There you go. Other direction. Good. Out in front. Other direction. And behind. Circles. This helps perception. So you could like draw a picture on somebody's leg who's sitting behind you. So, you know, practical skills. Yeah, especially in COVID. Good. And relax. Yeah. So we've just worked on our trunk. Now, we're going to do I want to do another? No, we're going to go on to the elbow. So for the elbow, since the elbow is a hinge joint and it only has this flexion and extension, I mean, the only real exercises that you have are this flexion and extension. But one that I have found that helps, because it's a middle ground between the upper and the lower arm, is we'll start with one side. Your hand up, palm up, and you want your elbow to be just slightly bent. And keeping your elbow in the same position, turn your hand over. And reach. And drop. Starts to engage the rotator cuff. I find that because the elbow is a middle ground between the rotator cuff and the wrist, being able to have this angle, because there's two bones in the arm. When the arm is crossed like this is called the iron cross, because you have one bone, a radius, that's crossing over the ulna when your arm is in this position. So it's much stronger in this position than in this position here, especially if you're taking force. So being able to cross those bones not only will give you strength in your forearms, but by being able to retract, you are now strengthening your rotator cuff too. And ideally, keep the wrist and the shoulder on the same plane. Different, right? It's not easy. It looks so simple. Other side, palm up. Turn the palm over. Elbow is pointed up. Draw in. Yeah, pack that shoulder. Like you want to drop your shoulders, almost like you're bench pressing, and you want to bring your shoulder blades together. Yeah. Let me adjust this. There you go. Shouldn't slip. Welcome to your body. Good. And relax. Okay. So for the wrist, hands out. Now, I'm going to demonstrate what not to do so that we can do it right, okay? So this is what I don't want you to do. Okay? Palms stay facing down. Like, look at my nails. I like my nails. Look at my nails. I like my nails. Look at my nails. You got to say it like that. You gotta be kind of be monotone about it. Look at my nails. I like my nails.
You gotta say that.
Kind of emotion in your voice.
No, none at all. It has to be all internal. That's the power of Qigong. No smiles.
Oh God.
No, it's actually a gentle smile.
Look at the forearm.
Yeah, well, you see how it's coming from the elbow and the wrist. If you can, yeah, finger straight. And the hand is a blade from the side, up and down. So you're moving the wrist. The fingers are like stuck in something. Like, oh! There you go. Fingertips stay in the same place. Yeah.
Oh God, that's hard. Oh, I can't figure it out. It's not on the wall. I gotta see.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't change direction.
Look at him. Now I'm going to look at him. Now you look at him.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's just this part.
But from here, so it's like, this is a wrist exercise, remember? So don't worry about the hand. This is a wrist exercise. The hand just stays straight. This is a communication between the fingertips and the wrist. And you just got to coordinate. So the next part with that, you can practice that at home. Out, in, out, in.
Are you turning them anywhere in or just out?
So from here, from neutral, out, in. Out. It just takes exercise. Like, you gotta just practice it. There's out and in. And you can do it the same direction if it makes it easier. Yeah, you're doing it right. Yeah, you know what? If it's choppy now, that's good because that means you're breaking through where there might be calcification. Because fascia, I don't think I've ever mentioned fascia in the class, but fascia is like the pantyhose to every muscle. Every muscle's individually wrapped, and sometimes they get wedgies, and you can get a wedgie because it's not hydrated enough. And so it should be like taffy and kind of pull apart and be real nice and snap back. But if it's dehydrated, it becomes tacky and sticky. And then after a while, if there's still no moisture that gets to it, it gets hard. And then that's when you get a frozen joint, and that's when you get a funny position you got to hold in order to get out of pain. So
there's a woman who created an exercise method for releasing the fascia in the body.
yeah, myofascial release, MFR.
Oh, this is called the melt method.
Oh, melt method.
Yeah, but she charges a lot for training.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? It's ridiculous because Chinese medicine has been talking about fascial planes for thousands of years. We call them sinew channels.
So she figured out how to make
Yeah, exactly. It's just an appropriation and capitalization. No offense to your friend.
No, it's okay. I was going to do the training so that
Yeah, okay. It is. So now let's combine it. Here we go. This might make it easier. In, up, out, down. In, up, out, down. In, up, out, down. Let's do it with one hand. In, out, up, down. So starting neutral. In, up, out, down. Let's do it with our right hand. There you go. So we go in, up, out, down. In, up, out, down. Smooth it out.
Now the elbow is moving.
Yeah. Ideally, it's the wrist that's generating it, but the elbow's in between. And so then the opposite would be out, up, in, down. Out.
I went down too soon. Out,
Up, 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 up. This is up, up, in, down.
When you say in, are you going inside the body or outside?
The fingers out and the wrist is in.
Oh, in. That's what you mean.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in the movies. You remember brushing, painting? Oh, why do I gotta do this, Mr. Miyagi? So that you can do this. You know what I mean? It's very helpful to have wrist mobility so that you don't have carpal tunnel. And you can do your...
Watch more movies.
No, please. Practice more Qigong instead.
I gotta get what you're talking about a lot of times.
Oh. Up and down. Up and down.
the movements is so far and it takes a long time.
Yeah.
I'm going off the signal. I'm trying to catch up.
I know it seems like we're beating a dead horse, but I doubt any of y'all out there, unless you're David Way or anybody from Wudong West, can do this exercise fluidly for your first time.
I'm fighting the urge to move my fingers and not my wrist.
Yeah, see? And so this is very different than doing this, right? Because this is easy. We can do this all day.
Now I can do it. No, I think it's so hard.
But you see how the palm changes direction? And some people tend to do this little flourish. And that it's not quite the exercise, because this is supination and pronation. And this comes from the iron cross to not iron cross, to the two bones. So this is a forearm exercise here, supination, pronation. So changing the direction of your hands is not going to cause you to be able to do this exercise any better. It's going to give you a false attainment, meaning you'll feel confident doing something like, oh yeah, I'm doing it right. But if I slow it down, you see how my hands are actually scooping? I'm doing this artistically versus this, which is different. Because that continuity helps with especially making contact. When we are able to make contact, this ability to kind of like flow and kind of guide around or to deflect and still feel, because even with the palm facing up, this turns into a different art, but it can still be done. We're not doing this exercise, but I'm just demonstrating an exercise where the hand is palm up and you're focusing on the same principles. You know what I mean? And I got sloppy at the end because it really is about feeling that relationship between, am I keeping my palm up and being able to be like the best server in the world? Or are my palms down and I'm doing body work or something? I'm trying to be positive here. Okay, so good. We've done wrist exercises. Now, fingers. So we've done root, trunk, branch, stem, right? That one was not easy. And leaves. Okay, so spread the fingers. Spread them as far as you can. Spread your fingers. Really get the blood flowing. You should see your fingertips turning red. Like your life depending on it. You're learning piano and you need to be able to get a 12th. Okay, now clench. Now you've got your life savings in your hand and it's very windy and it is light, okay? So you do not want to let go of this, okay? You're gonna clench so tight that you want your knuckles to go white. You want the blood to drain from the outside of your hands. Good, like that, that's good. That's good, yes, you see it's draining. Then, now listen, flick. So we're gonna do 10 flicks, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, close. And now we're gonna focus on the close. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then 1, 2. We're gonna do 10 sets, okay? After this little demo. So starting with the next set. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
You had your exercise equipment with you. You pick your nose with them.
Arthritis, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. Excellent for arthritis. And just take a look at your hands.
Mine are red.
Do your palms feel different?
Hot, warm.
So if it's a cold day outside, what's a quick way to warm your hands up?
I guess Tai Chi at the bus stop.
Yeah. I've done this, you know, when I was learning Tuina, we would have to do just the flicks 1,000 times. 1,000 times a class, at least. And then
You do it so fast.
I've been practicing it for 5, 6 years, you know.
That's slow and teaching you.
Yeah. And I'd spend a lot of time spreading my hands, and there's ways of you grind your fingers together like this. Kind of grind them together. I like to keep them, you see how my palm up? So then you can kind of like crunch down and kind of roll that pressure in between. This is great for up any kind of mucus or phlegm that gets inside the joints. Then thumb, really massage that area. Just really dig in on both sides. Almost like you're trying to crack a walnut or something. You know? No, okay, maybe
A
not.
little wet part?
Yeah, I'm pressing and grinding around.
Oh,
Right, that action would look like.
okay. Makes sense.
Good. Then, and also, I was going to mention to do this exercise, this is a special grip where 3 fingers out, 2. So then you're then Star Trek.
What does that do? Make you stronger for a battle or something?
What, doing this here? This will help soften up your hands, especially if you're doing anything intricate, since like you work with your hands. Being able to keep your hands nimble, your fingers nimble, this is a good way to make sure that the skin stays soft, and the places where the blood could stagnate, it won't. Then, yeah, so that makes it fun, right? Because now we have to do these little mental, yeah. Then the pinky. Feel funny, huh?
It won't stay.
Then try making it smaller, so you're not separating the hands. Yeah, so like this is the first, this is the last hand position, the second hand position, the first hand position. So you have, that's actually 4, right? So here's 1. And this one, right? So you're grinding, right? And you can go both directions. You see how if you switch hands, it's a different feel. So that's what we're about to do now. So now we're grinding this way, then back to this, then. So how do you know you've switched hands? Whatever hand is palm down. So we started with the left hand down, so now we're gonna do right hand down. So now that's how you know, okay, I'm doing the other side. The second position, first position. That's okay. You only got 2, so you got a 50-50 chance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tapping. Yep. Awesome. Then the Star Trek. Pinky. Okay, and you might want to be careful with the next one because you're wearing a ring, Elaine.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do now is hitting the top of the hand. And we're going to work from the fingertips to the palm, to the wrist, to the forearm. And then work our way back down.
I go to the other side.
Back to the fingertips. This exercise comes from something called Pai Da La Jin, which is a warrior medicine. This is how you can get rid of any kind of pain or any kind of difficult movement in a joint, especially like if you're out on a battlefield or if you're out in the wilderness and you sprain your ankle, go and slap your ankle. I know it sounds funny, but tapping it and continuing to tap it till it discolors will help to bring out any toxic blood that may be stuck in that area to improve circulation. So just take a moment and feel the work. And you'll see that, and I'll show you guys, that our hands and arms are red from this exercise. We want that. Now, there are some who go further and it will change to additional colors, but I encourage you to not go there. I encourage you to just keep it red for now because we're just doing this for wellness. So to review, we've gone over our root, right? We had our rotation exercises for upper body, root. We had our trunk, right? We had these rotations. We had rolling back, rolling forward, and we could also do the shimmy. Yeah, get it. Hey, one-sided front. Other side. There you go. Yeah, it's not easy. See, this is what this exercise, this is what we will be doing. Yeah, and then our elbow, remember we had up and down, and we had these kind of exercises. You see how you can do it two-sided, but we did it one-sided. Then, then we had these for our wrist, our stems, and then we had our flicks and grabs, our slaps, our taps. And so that's our upper body mobility. Yes, okay. So last week we started with a form called Ba Duan Jin. And Ba Duan Jin is an exercise that comes from Qigong, and it has 8 segments. And that's what the name means. It's pretty much like 8 segments of silken brocade. So each one flows into the next, and it's intricate and delicate, yet it's sturdy enough to sustain life. That's the whole idea of the Ba Duan Jin. So let's go over the beginning, and I'll introduce you to the beginning. So we start with our feet together. Bend the knees, step out, heel touch first, shoulders width. Good. And back. Real simple. Keep it real simple. We're just starting here. Step out, shoulders width. And back. Up.
What you told before you lift your foot back, I can't remember.
We do that in the next part. So we step out, left hand crosses right, and arch back. Keeping the back straight, knees soft. Keep your knees bent. Left under right. Good. Roll up, keeping the chin tucked. Head is the last thing up. Good. Again. Feet together. Soft knees. Step out. Left over right. Rock back. Keeping the back straight, knees soft. Left under right. Rolling up, chin tucked. Good. Again, shifting the weight back. Good. Down. Good. All right, so Elaine, I'm going to have you lead, and we're going to do it with you. Excellent. Good. How do you feel about it, Shotzi?
I think one more round.
One more round. All right.
I'm having trouble keeping my back straight.
No, you did great. That was excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no recommendation
All right.
other than keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Now from this position, I'm going to demonstrate the next part. So I'm going to have you just stand, soft knee, palms facing each other. A narrower stance for you, Shotzi. Less work. Yeah, it shouldn't feel like a whole lot of work. Okay, good. So this is the segment that we're learning right now. I'm going to demonstrate the whole part so that you guys understand what you're. That's what we're working on. Yeah, that's why we're breaking it up into sections. This is how I learned it. My Sifu would show us what it looks like so you kind of have a visual of what you're practicing at home. Plus, this is up on YouTube, it's on Instagram, so you can rewatch it. So we're only going to go up to after we've done this, we come to here. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Os. Os. Okay. So we're going to step out into a horse stance this time. Follow my lead. Oh, also, Shatsi, this is called Dingbu. So when you hear me say Dingbu, that means that the weight is on, you're on one leg and you're just touching with the toe. So from here, when you come down, the foot doesn't just come in. You shift your weight, Dingbu, drop your weight, step out into a horse stance. Good. Close. You see my toe is forward. You see it's not up. So make it a smaller step then. Yes. Shift your weight. Bend your knees. Round your hips so your back is straight. Right? I would rather you have a horse stance here with good principle than here with what you think should be right, you know? Because I'm so happy with it, even if your horse stance is here. I'm totally cool with that.
Okay, that's a good thing, 'cause that's mine.
Yeah, because you see, it's about the angles. My ear, my shoulder, my hips, my heel. I shift my weight, my ear, my shoulder, my hip, my heel. I'm on one foot. You see, I can come back here. I'm still, because this is still in alignment. So if I need to, I can step back or however.
So your knee and your toes are always in alignment.
Yes. So the knee tracks over the toe, and the ear, the shoulder, the hip, and the heel have to stay in line. So even if I took force from some angle, right, I might end up shifting my weight in different places in my feet or hinging back. But again, when I'm hinging back, you notice my back is straight. I'm going into a squat. And a full squat from horse stance. So I'm engaging here. I may drop down.
All right. So when you're in horse stance, your feet are pointed out.
My toes are forward.
They're forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And so sometimes you'll find me sitting like this at home, chilling, because I want my hips to open up with my toes forward.
I hope you open up your hips when you do that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because like think about this action, right? Like you have one hip, or you can have both hips, and there's this pelvic tilt that goes along with that.
What is that, the stanky leg?
That's close. Stanky leg is in a different direction, but what you're thinking about is this is the Tootsie Roll, because they're like butterfly. That's let me see you Tootsie Roll. That Tootsie Roll, one side. So, you know, I had to be the Tootsie Roll prophet for a second. It ain't my first rodeo with that dance. Okay. moving on. So we're looking at that stepping out action, right? The out, toe forward to then shift. Because let's say you, doesn't matter. Scenario doesn't matter.
I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
When you stepped out, and then you're
Here.
gonna always bring your hips forward, right?
Do you feel comfortable coming forward some? Because there's others who would probably benefit from your question.
Oh. So when you stepped out here, I always go that way, but I'm gonna pull in this way.
Yes.
Come in.
Mm-hmm.
And that can make you have a better balance in the center.
Yeah, because if you have to arch this way, that means that your knees are knocking. Like this would be a comfortable position for you. You see what I mean? So the inference is if you have to arch, then the inside's falling in, right? Versus like people, howdy, how you doing? Howdy do? Right? And you'll see that it's like everything is pushing forward. It's the opposite of what this would be. It's like, you know.
Yeah, you've got to engage your inner thighs
Yes.
to get your hips in the right.
You're engaging the inner thigh in order to draw this rotation. It's like spiraling outward. So it's like here, even this is the direction of the chi, even though I'm here. So I can, so that, but it took time, right? So let's do it together from the beginning. Good. Again. Another endurance game.
My favorite.
Yeah, when you least expect it. This is normally what happens. You're like, oh, I'll just run out real quick. And then you get pulled over and you're like, oh no, I don't have my wallet, I don't have anything. Yes, officer, I have my numbers memorized. It's F1443721. I live on this street. No, I promise you, I'm 5'4". I might have or might not have been pulled over and recited my driver's license number from heart in the hopes that I'd keep my car that night. Okay, jump up. All right, right hand in a fist. Thank you guys for coming today. Got a little taste. Make sure to check out additional episodes on YouTube if you have questions. You can leave comments on there if you're practicing at home. Please leave comments so then I can answer those. I can even create additional content if I need to elaborate, if it's more than...
You can write a student manual.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working.
Video to watch in terms of date. Just go through all of them?
I have them numbered.
So like if we come Tuesday, it will be Tuesday the date?
No, it just says Qigong like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I can update it eventually.
But how would I get to this one?
This one? Oh, you'll see that the upload date.
Oh,
The
okay.
upload dates will
That's
be
important.
sequential. Yes.
Then I'll just go over that one. I've been doing it. It's like crazy. I love it.
Awesome.
My hands just trying to feel like this while I'm sleeping.
Really? Are you doing